to another Steps of Sussex live channel episode. Today is Tuesday, January the 19th. I had to look and check because January is just flying by. Yeah, what a kind of first half, if you like, of the month, or more than half of the month we have had. I hope you are all safe. I'm going to start today's chat by just kind of hoping that everybody is safe and happy and well, and just basically taking care of yourselves. I know around the world, every country is trying to get as many people, especially the vulnerable and those most likely to be affected by COVID in a negative way, vaccinated basically. So I'm hoping that wherever you are, that things are progressing and moving forwards. There is light and there is hope out there. So I can see people dropping in. As always, this is a live chat, so I'm going to be responding to viewer comments and questions as we go. So today I have called, sorry about the glare with the glasses. I did ask for anti-glare glasses. I don't think they put the coating on. Once all the pandemic's over, I will be taking them back, but I need them to read, so do excuse the ring light in front of me. Anyway, I've called this video Let's Talk, and I've called it Let's Talk because we haven't had a chat for a while, so I think we need to kind of catch up with a few things. So let's talk ponytails. Yeah, Megxit review, Tom Bradby, and of course the latest court case updates which have come today. First of all, Sharona has pointed out, wow, you're back in your office. I am. And basically it was out of necessity. So those of you who don't follow my everyday life on my Elliot and Matt British Life channel, where I do weekly vlogs, you won't know that we had a kitten. We had a kitten about 8 months ago now. It was a lockdown baby. It was a lockdown kitten baby. And basically my office was taken over as the cat's nursery. So I kind of decamped to downstairs in the dining room, and that's basically where I kind of stayed. But now my partner is working from home because of COVID. He hasn't got COVID, by the way. He's a teacher, so working from home, remote learning, so we both need a space. So I thought, let's give him downstairs and I will go up where I should be in the office. So I spent all afternoon basically tidying up, sorting out, throwing things away, making my set hopefully look a little bit kind of interesting. There's still a bit more to do, but basically we're back up and running. We are back in the office, and this is where we are going to be staying for the foreseeable. Lots of people saying, how am I? I am really, really good. Thank you very much for asking. Leslie says, hello to all, prayers for good health to all. And yes, we are back in the office and it is not a nursery any longer. Mason says, I wish I had an office like that. Sharona says, you need a tiara. Maybe next chat I will pop one on. Right, Jules, we're going to get into ponytails right now because Jules I saw a picture of Harry the other day and he didn't have a ponytail. He was in Southern California. Right, okay, let's talk ponytails. So I remember it was one of my live chats, and it might have been on my Royal Reviewer channel. Someone said, what do you think about Harry and the ponytail? And I was like, what? I hadn't seen at that point any news or any stories about Harry and a ponytail. So I just kind of dismissed it out of hand. I was like, I made a joke about it. I said, oh, well, if he has got a ponytail, I hope he's got an Ariana Grande, in the middle, kind of swishing it around like this. A bit of an Ariana Grande kind of swishing of the ponytail. So I kind of dismissed it. Then I read an article. So basically, if you've been living in space and you haven't had access to any Harry and Meghan news, Rob Lowe said, now I'm going to summarise from memory the whole story, so do feel free to add any bits that I may have missed in the comments and I will read them out. Basically, Rob Lowe said he was driving in California, he pulled up at traffic lights and he looked, I don't know which direction, I get lost with the kind of driving in different countries. But anyway, he looked through the window and he saw a what he described as like a tinted kind of car, vehicle, SUV, I think. And he looked and he thought that it was Prince Harry. He said it looked like Prince Harry. And he said that he thought he saw a ponytail. Now, I do not know where the ponytail was. Top, bottom, I have no idea. But he said he saw a ponytail and he wanted to make sure, this is what he said, he wanted to make sure that it was Prince Harry, so he followed the vehicle back and he said it went to where Prince Harry is living. I mean, seriously, I mean, there's a few things wrong with this in general. First of all, he's stalking. I mean, even if it wasn't Prince Harry, probably wasn't even Prince Harry, he was still following somebody back to their home, which I don't think is a particularly wise or good thing to do. That's stalking. I mean, come on, that is stalking. Anyway, so I am going to read a little bit. Then a few days later, I see this little piece of news come up where Rob Lowe admits that his claims about Prince Harry's new ponytail might not be true. You're telling me? I mean, seriously? Did we all not think that this was a bit of a funny thing? I mean, what was he on? Was he on something at the time? I don't know. Anyway, turns out that Prince Harry might not be sporting a ponytail after all. So I'm trying to get to the... Oh, yes. He said he told Entertainment Tonight that he could be wrong. You think? You think? He says you have to consider the source. I also was the man that broke the news that Peyton Manning, by the way, I don't know who that is, was retiring. He went on to win another Super Bowl, so my credibility in the news gossip thing is tenuous at best, but I'm going to keep trying. I think you should give up, Rob Lowe. I mean, seriously. I mean, should you even be in celebrity gossip? I don't know. But anyway, he added, I did see a very sexy girl. A very sexy, blacked out, like, look at me, don't look at me, look at me, but don't look at me type of car. I looked in the smoky, sexy, security-laden window. And there was Prince Harry. For sure, it was him. I stake my tenuous credibility on that part. It's even more tenuous now, Rob Lowe. He said it appeared that he was wearing a ponytail. Now, I could be wrong. I think you are. I think you might be. But it's an interesting concept. Well, it is most definitely an interesting concept. And one wonders what Prince Harry would look like with a ponytail. Because that means he has gone full-bore Californian. So apparently Californians are known for ponytails. I'm not going to Google Californian ponytail. I just can't. I can't deal. I can't cope. So I'm not even going to Google what a Californian ponytail on a man looks like. I'm going to have a fantasy. I'm going to have a fantasy that's going to live on in my head that Prince Harry had a full-on Ariana Grande ponytail moment. That he I don't know whether it was maybe he was wearing like a wig. I don't know, or like a clip-on ponytail. I'm just gonna live the fantasy that he was wearing an Ariana Grande clip-on ponytail and that he was swishing it from side to side at the traffic lights. And that is the fantasy that I'm going to be living. That's going to be living on in my head. Right, I'm gonna see what people are saying in the comments because I want to know what you think about all this ponytail nonsense. Clarissa says, look nice today. Don't know what you're talking about with a ponytail. Do you know what? Neither do I, to be quite honest. Shrona says he does. I even bought him one for Christmas. Tiaras will be coming back. My head has been having a tiara break. Do you know, when you wear too many tiaras, and this happened to me, I kind of had like phantom tiara wearing feelings. So even when I wasn't wearing a tiara, I wore one so much that I felt like I was still wearing one. That is an actual thing. Joanna says he was clearly joking about Prince Harry. I think he was, and I think a lot of people took it incredibly seriously. But yeah, I'm living the Ariana Grande fantasy. Trona says, looks like you need a good haircut. Yeah. Just in case you're wondering, my hair is pretty much like really, really long. In fact, I could probably do my own ponytail with my hair. But no. I had to clip at the sides, so I have cut the sides myself and the kind of undercut, but I didn't touch the top because I am not a hairdresser and I was not going to risk doing the top of my head. Becky says, I cannot believe Rob Lowe would follow Prince Harry. Yeah, I mean, following anybody is just a little bit creepy, don't you think? Apparently Peyton Manning was a football player. Okay. Being not really much into sports, does that surprise you that I'm not particularly into sports? I mean, unless it's something like rugby in the UK, I mean, they have nice thighs. I can appreciate a nice sporting thigh, but I'm not particularly into sports, and I definitely wouldn't be aware of American or USA football players. Anyway, Sharon Davis says, if Harry was wearing a ponytail, I want his hair growth product. Me too, don't we all? Hello to everyone just dropping in. Right, let's have a look. Apparently I'm blurry. Try and refresh the screen. I can't do anything about any blurriness. I'm looking at myself on my screen and it's not blurry. SJ says, I've never heard of a Californian ponytail. Neither had I until that moment. And apparently Peyton Manning is also the face of a children's hospital in Indianapolis. SJ says, and the Brits just can't handle it either way. The one thing I can't handle is a ponytail. Although, like I say, and I stand for an Ariana Grande. Christine says, would Harry also have a comb over? I have no idea. I mean, why not, if we're considering ponytails? Mason says, I don't even know a Californian ponytail. I live in California and I don't even know what one is. I'm not Googling it. I'm not even going there. I'm not Googling it. Lauren says, sorry I'm late, just hoping, just having lunch. Pasta and sweet corn, sounds yummy. Mary is laughing about the possibility of Prince Harry wearing a comb over. Right. And Shrona says, sorry to ask this on this channel, but am I excited to hear of you that Eugenie might be due in 4 weeks, mid-February. Well, I haven't actually heard that yet, so I'm not going to react to that until I can confirm that might be true. Lauren says, I had a ponytail. I heard of a ponytail, not a comb over, but who knows? Right, we're going to move on from ponytails. I just can't cope anymore with any ponytail gossip. So I'm going to close down that story because that one is well and truly over. Let's chuck our ponytails off and move on to the next story. So, people have been talking for a long time about the Megxit that came about from the hashtag Sandringham Summit. What this kind of Megxit review, as it's become to be known. By the way, in case you didn't know, Megxit as a word has actually entered the dictionary because it's been used that much that it's actually become a word. Anyway, I completely digress. So, a lot of people have been speculating about the Megxit review. Will it happen? Won't it happen? Will it be postponed? Who wanted it? Who didn't want it? Basically, a story came out the other day about the whole... let me just try to find it. Because I opened up a window and I think for some reason it's closed itself. Right, so I can't find my window. I think I've accidentally closed it. So I'm just going to do this story from kind of memory. So Katie Nicholl, and I know everyone's going to have their opinions about different journalists, especially British kind of tabloidy type journalists. But Katie Nicholl came forward and said that she had heard from a Sussex source. Now, I have no idea who the Sussex source would be. Let's just start by saying we don't even know that any of this is true at all. It is all kind of really tenuous at best. And also, Harry and Meghan have quite clearly kind of stipulated that they would not be talking directly to any of the kind of British tabloids. So it kind of seems a little bit odd that somebody close to the Sussexes would then be talking to Katie Nicholl. So that kind of got me thinking, probably not true. But anyway, Katie Nicholl claims that she has spoken to a Sussex source or somebody close to them that have said that the Megxit review is not taking place because William, Charles, and the Queen have already and Palisades have discussed it and come to the conclusion that things are working the way they are, therefore things shall just carry on. Now, I have one slight issue with the whole that Megxit review has been cancelled if in the same article you are saying that Palisades, the Queen, Prince Charles, and William came together and discussed what Harry and Meghan are doing and have decided that everything's okay. Coming together and discussing a situation is a review. Am I thinking completely out of turn here? So Katie Nicholl on the one hand is saying the Megxit review has been cancelled, but technically she's also saying that there was a review because people have been discussing it. So it was just full of contradictions. So either there was a review or there wasn't a review. If there wasn't a review, then as far as I'm concerned, what she should have said is that the review has been ditched, that it's just not going ahead. But if you're saying that that key figures and Palisades have come together and discussed it and decided, then a review happened. A review happened. In fact, what she's claiming from the article is that the review happened early. So is she saying the review happened early? Is she saying that Prince Harry wasn't even involved in the review? Because she didn't mention that Prince Harry had been kind of consulted on any of this. But it's irrelevant because I think the press are coming up with these sorts of stories because of the nature of what Harry and Meghan have done over the past year. Harry and Meghan, as we know, have signed multi-year Spotify, Netflix deals. They've also obviously set up Archewell and everything that's going on behind the scenes about that. Meghan's invested in Clever coffee brand. The key is in multi-year. Harry and Meghan are not coming back. They're not going to come back to being a working member of the royal family anytime soon, if ever. So the fact that it's multi-year deals, obviously multi-year means more than one, shows that they aren't going to come back. So I don't think the review, which of course we don't know any details of, we don't know what was agreed at the #Sandringham Summit. All we know is that Prince Harry and Meghan agreed to abide by the values and standards of the Queen. I don't think the review was ever intended for Harry and Meghan to come back. Of course, if they wanted to within that period, I think that would have been possible. But I don't think the royal family or Harry and Meghan thought that they were going to come back within that year. I think what the review was more about was what Harry and Meghan do decide to do. Was it going to be a diplomatic or a constitutional problem for the monarchy, and more importantly, Britain? I think the British government would have more of a say in what Harry and Meghan are doing. Is it making things diplomatically tricky with perhaps relations between America or other countries? I think that is what the review would have been about more so than Harry and Meghan coming back. Although, if Harry and Meghan had wanted to, I'm sure that would have been possible to do so. So, to summarise, I think Katie Nicholl is probably talking out of her derriere, shall we say. I don't think she really knows anything. I don't think a Sussex source would have divulged any such information to her. So I'm still calling that some kind of formal review will take place, probably at the end of March, beginning of April, sort of around that time, where I think the main points of discussion will be what Harry and Meghan have done, said, set up, the businesses that they've gone into, I think they'll be looking at, has that had an impact, or going forward, will it have an impact upon constitutional issues and also diplomatic ones? So I think that's more of the avenue that will be looked at. And perhaps that will be an ongoing review. The review might even be extended. So they might have like a mini review at that point, because of course COVID has got in the way of Harry and Meghan launching things, as they probably would have done had COVID not happened. So I think that there is still going to be some kind of review happened. But if you listen to Katie Nicholl, basically what she's saying is a review happened early. Right, I'm just going to go and see what people are saying. Let me go up to where pretty much I left off before with the comments. Vivian says, that's so true, it's a review. Yeah, basically, Katie Nicholl is saying that a review happened, even though the title, her headline was that Megxit was cancelled. But anyway, apparently Sharona read in the Express, it was confirmed mid-February. So I will have to go and take a look. If that has been reported and confirmed, that completely escaped me. I will go check that out. Lauren says, oh no, different comment. Jules says, Harry and Meghan are living their best lives. I am happy for them. Yeah, they are not coming back. The review was never going to be about them coming back in. It was more sort of what they've done, what they've said. Has it impacted negatively on the royal family, on diplomatic issues, shall we say. Dawn says, either way, they have triumphed. Happy New Year and Happy New Decade. So glad that you are here with us to ring in the tide of good news. Love from Dawn in California. I echo your sentiments entirely. Lauren says, when is the transition period over? Do you think there will be an exception with COVID? The only, I think personally, it was always going to be an ongoing thing. And let's face it, the royal family can't stop Harry and Meghan, or even the British establishment can't stop Harry and Meghan from doing or saying whatever they want to do. However, what they can do is perhaps remove things that link them. Let me rephrase that. They can separate. They can make a bigger separation between state and Harry and Meghan as individuals. So the thing that is linking them still to the state, to Britain, to the United Kingdom, to the monarchy, officially is the HRH. So although the British establishment can't stop Harry and Meghan saying and doing whatever they want to, and I'm sure Harry and Meghan will be doing whatever they want to, the one thing that can happen is that a bigger separation can be made. A bigger point can be made of that Harry and Meghan are acting as individuals rather than representatives of the crown, or even having a link to the crown. So that, I think, is always what has been at stake with their actions or what they do, is the HRH, possibly the ducal titles, but more so, I think, the HRH. So I think, yeah, that's basically is what is at stake, so to speak. Whether or not Harry and Meghan obviously care about that is a complete other question entirely, which is a matter for them. But I think that is what was always going to be looked at, because, you know, the British establishment can't stop Harry and Meghan from doing or saying whatever they want to. Kat Holland says, the word Megxit was created by the hate group who said Meghan should be executed. No, I think it was created. I think I first heard the term coined in a British headline. I'm sure it was coined in a British headline. It may have been adopted by other groups who haven't been very nice, shall we say. But I think it first originated, I first heard of it in a newspaper. And of course it was likened to, it was a comparison to Brexit. So Britain leaving the European Union, and of course Harry and Meghan leaving the royal family, was dubbed Megxit. And of course, you know, it wasn't particularly fair that all of that was put on Meghan, because as we know, it was most likely mostly Harry that wanted to kind of pull them away. But But anyway, it is a word. It is now, I think, in the dictionary. It is in most people's lexicon. Lauren says, do we think there will be an extension of... Oh, I think I've already read that one. Jules says, COVID is running wild in the US, as it is everywhere. Until it gets under control, I doubt anybody will be going anywhere. True. And also, we don't know, of course, when Harry and Meghan are able to come back to the UK for different things. There are a few things happening next year, especially with Prince Philip's 100th birthday. And of course, we have the unveiling of the Diana statue at Kensington Palace, which will be situated in the Sunken Garden. And possibly they could turn up and at Trooping the Colour, should it go ahead. At the moment, it's kind of in the balance. I think plans are underway for it to go ahead as normal, but that could change, obviously, with government advice closer to the time. Right, I'm going to kind of move on now to today's news. So, this is a developing story. It is taking place over today and tomorrow. So I'm going to kind of read what we know about today so far. So Meghan's lawyers have basically issued this, they haven't issued something, they have been trying, it's very difficult to get your head around this whole court case nonsense, but basically Meghan brought the court case against the Daily Mail because they published extracts, heavily edited extracts of the letter which she sent to her father, and her father gave the letter to the Daily Mail, and they published it with a certain narrative. Harry and Meghan obviously sued for mostly, I think, sort of copyright, invasion of privacy, and then a court case was created that was then suspended at Meghan's request for kind of, was it till October now? And then, in the meantime, Meghan has put in another request to basically have the judge make judgment to effectively end the court case before trial, to make a decision on what the evidence they already have, and then basically forgo the court case. So, the Duchess of Sussex lawyers have argued that her privacy case against the Mail on Sunday does not need to go to trial because the newspaper has no real prospect of success. Meghan is saying that the evidence is so strong in her favour that they have no chance of winning, no real prospect of success, therefore the decision should be made without it going to trial. So as we know, she is suing the Mail on Sunday and the Mail Online for invasion of privacy after it published the contents of a personal letter she wrote to her father in the summer of 2018, shortly after the wedding in Windsor. The Duchess claims it was a direct assault on 3 of the 4 strands of her privacy rights. Her lawyer called it a triple-barreled invasion because the Mail on Sunday article infringed her right to a private life, a family life, and her correspondence. A trial has been penciled in for October, I was right, after a delay requested by Meghan, but she is applying for a summary judgment instead. That was the word I was looking for, summary judgment. I'm not used to all this legal lexicon. If successful, a summary judgment would involve the judge deciding the case and the trial would no longer go ahead. The matter is being argued in a virtual hearing of the High Court, which was beset by a short delay at the start because the microphone on the laptop of Meghan's lawyers wouldn't work. I'm sure all of us have experienced technical difficulties during all the troubles we've had recently. So Meghan's legal team says that the Mail on Sunday committed a plain and serious breach of Meghan's privacy when in February it published extracts from the letter she had sent to her father about the breakdown of their relationship. The case, they claimed, centres around one simple question: who has the rights of control over the contents of a letter which is self-evidently private and sensitive? Justin Rushbrook, QC, Queen's Counsel for the Duchess of Sussex, told the judge that it doesn't matter whether the writer of the letter is a duchess or an ordinary citizen. But he said it is clear that Meghan, not the Mail on Sunday, has the rights of control over its contents. Meghan wrote, it was a 5-page letter to her father in 2018, and it was sent by FedEx by recorded delivery to his home, which was in Mexico. Basically, it's a 1,250 word letter, and she started it with the sentence, "Daddy, it is with a heavy heart that I write this, not understanding why you have chosen to take this path, turning a blind eye to the pain you're causing." And there is various extracts, which again, I'm not going to read out. I'm trying to skim down because it's a big article and I want... here we go. So new extracts have revealed that the final kind of sentence was, "I ask for nothing other than peace, and I wish the same for you." The judge, Mr. Justice Warby, told the court that he had read the biography Finding Freedom, which also included some extracts from the letter. But when asked if he had enjoyed it, he diplomatically said, "I don't think I should answer that." The Mail on Sunday's owners, Associated Newspapers, claimed that there was a public interest in the publishing of the letter because Meghan was a senior member of the royal family at the time. The newspaper also claims Meghan must have known the letter would be leaked to the press at the time of writing it. The Mail will make its submissions to the summary judgment hearing in due course. So, as soon as we have any more further information on this, I will, of course, let you know and keep you updated. I'm just seeing if there's any recent updates whilst I've been on. I don't think there has been. Let me just... Oh, there has been a new witness statement released today by the court. Thomas Markle says Meghan's letter to him signalled the end of their relationship, not a reconciliation. So the article quoted a longtime friend of Meghan talking about the letter. She was quoted as saying, after the wedding, she wrote him a letter. She's like, "Dad, I'm so heartbroken. I love you. I have one father. Please stop victimising me through the media so we can repair our relationship." This suggested to people that Meghan had reached out to me with a letter saying in the letter that she loved me. Obviously, this is talking from Thomas Markle's point of view, and that she wanted to repair our relationship. The suggestion was false, he says. The letter was not an attempt at reconciliation. It was a criticism of me. The letter didn't say she loved me. It did not even ask how I was. It showed no concern about the fact I had suffered a heart attack and asked no questions about my health. It actually signalled the end of our relationship, not a reconciliation. Right, and that's kind of all we... Oh no, there's one more. There's one more about... No, that's fine. I thought there was something new. There isn't. It was when she was talking in the letter about Samantha Markle. Right, I'm going to go to the comments and see what people are saying. But before I do that, I'm just going to kind of talk about it. So, in due course, we will have more information as to the outcome of Meghan's request to have this basically reviewed and a judgment called on the information they already have. So Meghan, I don't think, would do this if she didn't think, or her lawyers didn't think, that there was enough information to go off. But again, we will wait and see. The Mail on Sunday didn't have any objection, I don't think, to a delay in the first place, when obviously Meghan requested that the whole case be delayed from basically coming up what would have been now until October. So let's kind of go up, and I'm going to go to the very bottom and kind of read the comments up, I think. Lauren, I think I agree with you entirely. It's sad. It's all just so sad. Yes. Kat Holland says this case should have been resolved within 6 months of the lawsuit. The legalities of dragging this case out makes me think the Mail on Sunday was working with the judge. I don't think they were working with the judge, but I completely agree that it's better to get this sort of thing done, dusted, sorted, out of the way. And all I've got to say is, Meghan, there must be something quite big, because obviously it was revealed that for personal reasons the case was postponed. I can't imagine that Meghan would want this dragged out any longer than need be, because it's like this kind of thing still kind of hanging there that needs sorting. So there must be something big enough of a reason to kind of want to make it worth postponing. Denise says, what happened to the court? Did our Queen Duchess Meghan? No, we haven't heard any information yet. Elise says, I agree the father and sister book is going to be bad. Yes, there is also a new book going to be coming out. Becky says, how horrible is it for your personal life to be spread all over the place and to live your life turned inside out? Personally, I wouldn't like it. Raynette Tingle says, I'm wondering what people think once Mr. Markle received the letter. Didn't it become his property to do with as he pleased? Was it taken without his consent? Just wondering. No, I think he gave it, I think. I don't, well, he's saying he didn't even receive money for it, I don't think. But he said he gave it to the Mail on Sunday to kind of prove a point, basically. But I always thought, and, you know, I'm no legal expert, but I did always think that if you gave something to somebody, or, you know, a letter, a postcard, I always thought it became that the person that you've given it to's property. But what Meghan is saying is that you still retain copyright over something that you have composed, even though you've sent it, basically given it to somebody. And I think that is what, you know, basically the judge is going to have to make a decision on. Does she have copyright still of it or not? Cinderella says, I think I haven't said the name right. Cinderella says, why should the HR house be removed? Other non-working royals like the York princesses and HRHs, Harry and Meghan shouldn't have anything taken away. I think the answer to that question is in what they do as a HRH. And also people are making comparisons to Edward and Wallis when they left. Edward still retained the HRH and was made the Duke of Windsor. I think the difference is what you do as a HRH. If you look at the York princesses, they have for years been kind of caught between a rock and a hard place with the HRH title and status. Basically, they've had to be low key, and they have kind of played by the family rules. They haven't done anything, you know, outrageous. They haven't set up kind of big money deals. And let's face it, you know, Meghan and Harry have set up these big multi-year deals. Meghan and Harry are going to be very visible. Princess Eugenie and Beatrice have kind of regular type jobs. They don't do anything that courts that much kind of attention. So it's all in kind of what they do. And I think that's what, like I said, at the review point, that is what will be reviewed, what they have done, what they have said. Has it caused any kind of diplomatic problems? Princess Eugenie and Beatrice haven't really caused any diplomatic problems. Also with the Duke of York, not Duke of York, the Duke of Windsor and of course Wallis, different times. I mean, we're talking long ago before social media. Basically, they were kind of exiled. They lived in different countries. The British press didn't really report on them much. The British public didn't really know what they were up to. They kind of lived their life mostly in Paris. Of course, they kind of lived the high society life in Paris, but they kind of kept their heads fairly low. They didn't really have kind of big money deals. They weren't kind of, you know, superstars. So it's all in context and it's all relative. Lauren says, again, can I just point out to people the royal family is Harry's family? Why would we want to be distanced from that? It is sad when families fall out, definitely. Sharona says, we could get another Windsor troop in the colour this year. We could. That is entirely possible. I think plans are going ahead for a regular troop in the colour, but we don't know where we're going to be in a few months, so things could change. Kat Harlan says, I think the more work Harry and Meghan are doing via Archewell, the further they are distancing themselves from the royal family. One thing I kind of forgot to mention, or rather maybe it didn't dawn on me at the time, when they first launched the proper Archewell website, there kind of wasn't the separation between the charitable kind of branches of Archewell and then the kind of personal money-making branch of it. If you look on the website, it's just kind of a different tab. So it's kind of like Archewell is one entity. When I thought they were going to launch Archewell, I thought they would make it kind of, I thought they would very much separate the ventures of the personal financial gain, like the Netflix, the Spotify, the Archwell Audio, all the kind of money making side of things. I thought they would really split that and separate it, make it two entities from the main Archwell charitable kind of branch, that kind of arm. But if you look, it's kind of all on the same website. It's all kind of intermingled. So I did find that very interesting, and I do feel that that is something that will kind of blur the lines and may cause a lot of conversation going forward, which they might not obviously want. But I did think there would be more of a separation, shall we say. And I do foresee that being problematic going forward in the future. Raynette says, Meghan and Harry may be opening themselves up in the future to legal action if they reveal personal correspondence, emails sent to them. Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. And Mary says, some people are so angry because they see Harry and Meghan as upstaging Prince William, who will one day be king as well. They are angry because Harry has said he is his mother's son. And I think when they used the image of Princess Diana on the Archewell kind of website launch, where he said that he was his mother's son, you have to kind of look that in the past, when Harry and William have referenced their mother or used their mother's image, it has been purely for charitable reasons. If they've used the image like the Diana Award or something like that, it's been for charitable purposes. It's not been for personal financial gain. When you have a website that's kind of all encompassing, and like I said before, there's not a lot of separation between the personal financial gain side of it and then the charitable branch of it, the lines can become blurred. And I think that's where some criticism came from about that. Kat Harlem says, people forget that Thomas Markle had claimed for months that he never heard from Harry or Meghan since the wedding. The letter proved that was a lie and they had been trying to reach him via phone and text. The judge will be looking, well, no, I don't think it's not the judge's job to make a judgment on their relationship. It's basically looking at the legal fact of it. Was it a copyright breach? Was it an invasion of privacy? He will be looking at the facts of it. He won't be kind of making judgment on the relationship situation. Kay Hayes says, what was the timing of the postponement? I may be wrong. Well, we don't... when was it first mentioned? Do you know what? I'm going to have to go back and check. I can't remember when it was first mentioned. But some people have been saying could be because of a baby on the way. Basically, everything is just speculation until something is released officially. Right, I'm going to skip all the way down to the bottom. Robbing6062 says, was Andrew's title taken away? He is the one that brought shame to the royal family. People are now talking about Prince Andrew's status and his styles and his status. I think people thought, myself included, hoped that the whole Andrew situation would be settled one way or the other. Either, something, legal action is taken or legal action is dropped. We were kind of thinking that something would happen one way or the other, and then there would be a clear path to whatever the outcome was going to be. That hasn't happened. So now, going back, at the time when Andrew voluntarily stepped down, he requested to the Queen, can I step down? She gave the blessing to step down. His office, what was being paid for out of basically the Queen's sovereign grant money, was cancelled. So the Queen has not been funding, the royal family has not been funding his personal private offices. Where he has had public funding is in the police protection. People are now talking, quite rightly, about should he have the police protection, seeing as he's not doing any royal duty. His home, he did pay for, he paid for a long lease, so that's not in question in terms of being taken away. But people are saying, look, if he's not doing any royal duties, if, should we be paying for the security, that kind of thing. But the difference is he kind of stepped away grudgingly. He didn't want to step away. He was kind of forced to step away. And, he and the palace, I think, always wanted a route for him to come back in. So like I say, things have kind of, the longer this goes on, the more difficult of a situation it becomes, because what do you do with someone who, where there is no resolution coming forward? So again, I hope that this year there is some kind of resolution, one way or the other. Either the prosecutors or those legally representing the girls make a formal charge, therefore there is more chance of getting, a response from Andrew, or they say there's not enough evidence and they drop it. One way or the other, something needs to happen. Kenneth Bavaria says, the recipient of a letter is the owner as it was sent to them, but the contents belong to the writer. Content of a book is an example, belongs to an author. It does, but when you look at books, they go through a stringent copywriting process to protect their work. People don't typically go through a stringent copywriting process when they send a letter. Shrona says, hard to think that Andrew stepped down 15. It's been a long time. It's been a long, long time with no resolution. And I think for the girls involved in the Epstein case, they deserve a resolution. But also, similarly, the British public deserve a resolution. Because at the moment, we are kind of partly funding someone who's not able to work, basically. So one way or the other, there needs to be some resolutions coming forward. Jules says, what does it... Oh, talking to someone else. Right. I'm also got... I'm going to leave that story now because obviously it's a developing story. As soon as we know a little bit more, I will, of course, let you know. Right, very, very quickly, Tom Bradby. Now, he is a ITV news anchor. He has come out and said that Prince Harry is distraught over the painful royal rift that has left hurt feelings on all sides. Now, he has had a very good working relationship with William and Harry. He's one person that was invited to the weddings. And he is very trusted. He was the man that asked Meghan, are you okay? And obviously basically was kind of that catalyst interview that sparked Harry and Meghan stepping back. So he has come forward. Now, he is a fairly credible source. If anybody would know these things, it was him. And I don't think he would want to put his relationship with them on the line because he's had lots of lucrative interviews and correspondences with Harry and William over the years. So he claims that Prince Harry is heartbroken over the rift with the royal family, and Bradby has said that the past year has been painful and there was still a lot of hurt feelings on all sides, but he insisted that Harry and Meghan were pretty happy with their new life, pursuing lucrative careers in America. So like I said, Bradby's known Prince Harry since he was a teenager and filmed a documentary with him and Meghan on their 2019 tour of Africa. He made these comments about the couple's exit from the royal family in an interview with Alan Titchmarsh for a show which I think has aired, which I haven't seen the full show. Asked whether he thinks Harry and Meghan seem any happier in California, he said the prince was that the reports that Harry was missing his old life were untrue. But he confirmed that Megxit had been a trying and deeply emotional experience for all involved. He says, I think they are feeling better. Yes, I mean there has been a huge amount that has happened over the last year that I can't talk about. And I don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk about an awful lot of what has been said is kind of not accurate. So it's so basically saying most of what's been reported is not accurate and not right. So are they unhappy? No, I think they are content. The things they are doing, they are quite excited by. I think he is heartbroken by the situation with his family. You don't necessarily need to have knowledge to know that. but I think it is true. Pressed on whether he was referring to the distance between Harry and William, both of whom he has collaborated with, as I said earlier, Bradby said, "The situation with the family clearly isn't ideal, and it's been a very difficult year for them all. To some extent, I felt a little bit caught in the middle of them with that 2019 documentary, which is a deeply uncomfortable place to be. And that is, in a way, why I am always reluctant to say anything more, because I don't want to make anything worse or get in between anything or anything like that. But are they unhappy out there? No, I don't think that's right. I think they are pretty happy, actually. But I think they wrestle with their position in life. I think they all do. I think William does too. I don't think he finds it easy. And that's kind of what he said. I don't think there was anything else that he has said. So I'm going to go back to the live chat comments and just see what people think about what Bradby has said. Robin says, Andrew and Harry were born royal, and even if the titles are stripped, will they not still be royal? Even if the titles can be stripped, even ones that you are born with, technically they can be stripped. There have been examples of that in the past, although they have been they have only been done in kind of times of extreme need for it to be done so. So, for example, after people's involvement with in the Second World War, no, the First World War and the Second World War, I think people's titles were stripped. So if a HRH was stripped, basically they would still be a member of the royal family, but they wouldn't be a royal highness. So you can't stop somebody from being a member of the family, but you can remove a title if it is necessary to do so. Jules thinks that only Harry and Prince Charles can work on their relationship. And Shirley thinks Bradby hasn't talked to them since the African tour. Tim says Meghan is a Hollywood star now. And no, we have no word from Prince Andrew on anything, to be quite honest. Right, and I did see a comment I wanted to read. I'm trying to find it again. Where's it gone? Amphi says, sorry to repeat myself saying that Harry's departure from the royal family gave his family a bitter stroke. I felt that in the run he will regret it very much. Meghan should have known whom she was married to. Things will all pan out in the future. And like I've said, I'm going to end this video by saying something I've said many countless times before. It makes no difference what individual people think about Harry and Meghan's decision to step back, leave the working royal family, start their own, non-profit organisation, start their own businesses. The only people that are going to know if that was the right decision are Harry and Meghan themselves. The only people that are going to be able to judge the decisions that they have made are Harry and Meghan. They are the only people that will know if they are happy and content with what they have done. So that's where I'm going to end today's video. If you have enjoyed having a good old discussion about all the different Harry and Meghan stories, please give the video a thumbs up. If you're watching on catch up, feel free to leave a comment. I know people like to comment below. So if you've enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, comment, and of course subscribe so that you know whenever I come on and do a pop-up video. So from me, in my office in Shropshire, mwah to you all. Until next time, stay safe